Hey guys, Varric here. So today's video is going to be on Jin'rokh, the first boss in the Throne of Thunder. However, before we get started, I want to mention a couple of things. First is, unfortunately, I wasn't able to record this on our normal mode, so the video that you're actually watching is on heroic. However, the boss's mechanics are exactly the same, except he does more damage and he has more HP, and he has two added abilities, but it's not that much different. So just keep that in mind. Secondly, I'm making these videos mainly for hunters and hunters' point of view, so I won't be covering every exact ability that he does. If it doesn't pertain to us or we need to worry about it, I'm probably not going to mention it, so just keep that in mind. But let's get started. So at the beginning of the fight, just keep in mind you do not want to pre-pot and you do not want to blow your cooldowns, and I'll explain why in a minute. As the fight starts, you'll notice there's 4 statues around the room. When your tank grabs the boss, you want him to pull him just a little bit further away from either the southeast or southwest statue. The reason behind that is he will do a ability called Thundering Throw, in which he will toss your tank at one of the statues. Now, which statue he throws at is dependent on how far away he is from the furthest statue. So, if he's further away from the southeast statue, he's going to toss the tank to that one, or if he's furthest away from the southwest, he'll toss it that one. We always start on the southeast statue, so knowing that, I kind of work my way over to the southeast statue because I know that's where the tank is going to land. However, you don't want to be exactly where the tank lands. When he does land, he'll stun anybody within a few yards of him. So don't be right on top of him when he lands. You just want to be close to the point. Now, when he lands, he will crack the ground. You'll see the graphic. And immediately after that, a puddle will start forming. You immediately want to start standing in this puddle. And the reason is you'll gain a buff called Fluidity, which will give you a 40% damage buff. And this is why you didn't want to pre-pot or blow your cooldowns at the beginning, because this ability will usually happen less than a minute later and you won't have your pot up in time. So once everybody kind of gets in the puddle and your raid pops Heroism or Bloodlust, then that's when you want to pot and blow your cooldowns. Now as time goes by, the puddle will get bigger until it encompasses about 25% of the arena. As the puddle gets bigger, you kind of want to work your way into just standing on the outside edge, and there's 2 reasons for this. The first reason is called Focused Lightning, where he will channel to a random raid member, and it'll look like a little ball of lightning. As it travels to you, it'll have like a little blue beam, so you can kind of see where it's coming from. It's dictated by how close you are to the boss. So if you're further enough away, you have some time. However, if you're standing in the puddle, it's going to be pretty close, so you don't want to take the chance of it hitting you. If it hits you and explodes while you're in the puddle, it will do a massive amount of raid damage, so obviously we want to stay away from that. So if you work yourself to the outside edge, give yourself a little room, and then you can disengage back to the outside of the arena. If you notice, there'll be a little grating on the outside. That's where you want to drop these. And when you do drop these, it will have a ability called Lightning Fissure. It'll be like a little fountain of lightning. Just keep in mind that wherever anybody else is dropping theirs, you do not want to drop yours on top of theirs, or otherwise it'll cause an explosion and it'll damage the raid. So just make sure you're not dropping on top of another one. The second reason why we want to be on the outside edge of the puddle is when he starts channeling an ability called Lightning Storm. Now, this is not an immediate damage, it's kind of a long cast. However, you don't want to be standing in it for more than a couple extra seconds after you see the warning go off. Once the ability is finished, or he's about halfway done casting, it's going to charge that puddle, and you can no longer stand in it, otherwise it'll kill you. But you can kind of cheat a little bit and fire off a few more shots. I wouldn't say stand in it more than a couple, 2 or 3 seconds after the warning, and then you need to get out. As he's casting these, it's going to do some raid-wide damage, so you want to kind of group up behind the boss, get some AoE healing until the ability's done, and then immediately spread back out. And then, of course, right after that, he'll do his Thundering Throw again, and again, depending on how far away he is from a certain statue, that's where he'll go. Usually we do the southwest statue, so we always get the front 2 when we walk in. So I know that's where the tank is going to land, so again, I start working my way over there, wait till he lands, see the puddle, get on it, get the buff, and then rinse and repeat. That's really pretty much the fight. Now, there's not a whole lot else to do. Only a couple things you want to keep in mind is to kind of gauge where you're at as far as your DPS or whatnot is if by the third time the third puddle is electrically charged and you only have like a quarter of the area left, the boss needs to be about under 20%. However, reason being, after he tosses the tank at the 4th statue, you're no longer going to have anywhere to run after he casts his final lightning storm. It'll wipe the raid. It's kind of a soft enrage, so just keep that in mind. As long as you're under 20% by the time the third puddle is charged, you should have enough time to kill him before he charges the last puddle. Again, you still have time after he throws a tank for the 4 statue and you get the puddle. Just after he casts lightning storm, it's pretty much a done deal. So just keep that in mind. But really, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. If you found this video helpful, just like and subscribe, as it helps me out quite a bit. But that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys watching, and see you later.